ever stopped to think about the invisible weight you carry every single day? Untold secrets can corrode your mental health, your relationships, and even your identity, often without you even realizing it. In this deep and eye-opening video, we explore the psychological impact of hiding parts of ourselves and how it silently, yet powerfully, shapes our lives. Discover why secrets drain your mental energy, what Freud, Jung, and Krishnamurti can teach us about the shadows of the mind, how releasing the weight can transform your emotional health and relationships, practical steps to finally let go without fear and without guilt. This isn't a video to watch passively. It's an invitation to look within, reflect, and perhaps, for the first time, begin to release what has been holding you back. Watch until the end, share your thoughts in the comments, and join this journey of self-discovery. He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens. Carl Jung. The invisible burden, what we carry in silence. Imagine that every secret you keep is like a stone. Small or large, light or heavy, it sits there, inside an invisible backpack on your shoulders. At first, you barely notice the weight, but over time, every step becomes harder, every breath shorter. And one day, without warning, the load is so crushing that you can't even remember what it felt like to live without it. Secrets hold immense psychological power. They're not just hidden thoughts. They transform into chains that bind us to the past. Every time you hide something from someone, or even from yourself, a part of your energy is spent keeping that information locked away. The problem? The human mind was never designed for absolute silence. Freud once said, "What we do not bring into consciousness appears in our lives as fate." In other words, the secrets you try to bury remain alive, acting in the shadows, shaping your choices, your relationships, and even your physical health. Have you ever felt an unexplainable anxiety? A tightness in your chest when you recall something you've never told anyone? That's your unconscious mind trying to resolve what's been repressed. Carl Jung went even deeper on this topic. For him, the shadow is made up of everything we reject and try to hide: desires, mistakes, traumas, and secrets. The problem is, the more we fight to suppress these parts of ourselves, the more they grow and find ways to surface. It's as if the mind is screaming, "Look at me! Deal with this." Modern psychological research shows that keeping secrets activates areas of the brain linked to chronic stress. Your body stays on alert, as if it's always preparing to be exposed. This can lead to insomnia, headaches, trouble concentrating, and even psychosomatic illnesses. But why is it so hard to simply speak up? The answer lies in fear. Fear of judgment, fear of losing people, fear of facing your own mistakes or desires. So we stay silent and pay the price quietly. Now I want you to reflect. When was the last time you felt truly free, truly light? Could there be something inside you that's keeping you from taking a full, deep breath? In this video, we'll peel back the layers of the human mind to understand why secrets hurt us so deeply and how to finally begin letting go of the weight. You may discover that the key to your freedom lies in what you fear most to reveal. Why keeping secrets slowly destroys us. Have you ever felt that suffocating sensation of holding something deep inside? As if every time you think about the secret, your chest tightens even more? This isn't just an emotional effect. Science has proven that keeping secrets acts like a silent toxin for both the mind and body. When we hide something important, the brain goes into a constant state of vigilance. It has to work overtime to make sure the secret doesn't slip out. This mental hyper-alertness activates the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for fear and stress responses. It's as if you're living under constant threat, even when everything seems calm on the outside. Researchers at Columbia University discovered that people who keep secrets for long periods report more obsessive thoughts and greater emotional exhaustion. It's like the brain can't stop spinning around the thing you can't say out loud. And the longer the secret stays locked away, the more mental energy it drains. But the impact isn't just psychological. The body pays the price too. Studies show that deep secrets can trigger a chronic pain, especially in the back and neck, a gastrointestinal issues, The infamous knot in the stomach, difficulty sleeping, a lower immunity, leaving you more vulnerable to illness. Carl Jung would explain it by saying, "What you resist persists." When we try to repress a truth, it turns into symptoms. It's the mind trying to speak to you through the body. And what about relationships? Secrets create invisible walls between you and the people around you. Even if you love someone deeply, if there's something unspoken, a part of you remains inaccessible. You feel alone even in the presence of others. This emotional isolation can be devastating because human beings are wired for connection. The question is, why can't we just open our mouths and speak? Fear is the prison guard of secrets. Fear of rejection, fear of losing the image we've built, fear of facing our own guilt. So, we make silent deals with ourselves. I'll carry this alone forever. And that's when the burden begins to crush us. But what if I told you that the secret itself isn't the biggest problem? The real enemy is the weight we give it. Often, what destroys us isn't the fact itself, but the judgment and silence surrounding it. Deep down, what you don't say has more power over you than what's already been revealed. The mind is a master at turning secrets into monsters, feeding fears that grow stronger in the dark. And maybe, just maybe, the first step to freedom isn't telling the world your secret, but finally telling yourself. When silence speaks, true stories and what Freud and Jung warned us about. Imagine a woman who kept a secret for 15 years. Early in her marriage, she had cheated on her husband. She never told him, never spoke about it to anyone. She believed that hiding the truth would protect her family, her children, and the image of the perfect wife everyone saw. But deep down, she was consumed by a corrosive guilt. She suffered from unexplained anxiety attacks, chronic insomnia, and a constant sense of inadequacy. When she finally sought therapy, she discovered that the secret she thought was buried was actually an open wound, bleeding silently every single day. This is not an isolated case. Psychology is filled with stories of people who, by hiding parts of themselves, create an emotional prison. Freud called this repression, a defense mechanism where we push unwanted memories and feelings into the unconscious, believing they'll disappear. But Freud warned that the unconscious never forgets. What is repressed returns in the form of symptoms: anxiety, depression, compulsions, even psychosomatic illnesses. Carl Jung went even further. He believed every secret becomes part of the shadow, a psychological territory where we store everything we don't want to see or show. Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." In other words, as long as secrets remain hidden, they continue influencing our choices, sabotaging our happiness, and silently shaping our paths. A study conducted by Stanford University reinforces this idea. Researchers asked volunteers to write down their deepest secrets and then split them into two groups. One was told to share their secret with someone they trusted, while the other was told to keep it to themselves. The results were shocking. The group who spoke about their secret showed a significant reduction in stress levels, improved sleep, and even greater productivity at work. The other group reported heightened anxiety and deeper feelings of loneliness. In this case, silence wasn't golden, it was poison. And this doesn't apply only to big secrets like infidelity or crimes. Even small, unspoken truths can become corrosive. A son who never told his father he felt abandoned. A friend who never revealed how deeply they were hurt by an action. A person who never admitted to themselves a desire or an identity that didn't fit expectations. These examples show that secrets come at a cost. They disconnect us not only from others but from ourselves. It's as if each secret is a brick placed between the person we are and the person we show to the world. But what if removing those bricks, one by one, could be the path to a lighter, freer life? The path to courage, facing secrets and freeing the mind. Facing a secret is like stepping into a dark forest. The fear of getting lost, of being devoured by invisible beasts, of never finding a way out, all of it paralyzes you. But just like in the forest, there is a path, and it begins with the first step. looking inward. Freud taught us that the secrets we repress don't disappear. They disguise themselves. That's why self-knowledge is the antidote. Ask yourself, what is it within me that I fear so much? I'd rather hide it even from myself. It's a dangerous question, but an essential one. Because until there is awareness, there is no choice, and the secret will continue running your life from the shadows. Jung said that the shadow where our secrets live is not something to be destroyed, but integrated. In other words, the goal isn't to eliminate the secret, but to give a voice to the part of us it represents. When we acknowledge that part, it loses its power to control us. It's like shining a lantern in the forest. The monsters reveal themselves for what they really are, and many turn out to be nothing more than strangely shaped trees. But how do you do this without getting lost? Here are some practices psychologists and philosophers consider transformative. 1. Writing as a mirror. Take a notebook and write about your secret, unfiltered. Not to publish, not to show anyone, only to bring to light what's been hidden. Writing has the power to organize inner chaos. Studies show that writing about traumas and secrets reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression. 2. Talking to a safe person. You don't always need to tell the world. Sometimes speaking to one trusted person or to a therapist is enough to lighten the burden. Sharing turns the secret into something far less monstrous. As Brené Brown said, shame cannot survive being spoken. It withers when exposed to empathy. 3. Facing your inner judge. Many secrets are kept not because others would judge us, but because we judge ourselves. It's essential to cultivate self-compassion, to understand that being human means being imperfect, contradictory, and full of nuance. The risk of revelation is true. Not every secret needs to be exposed. In some cases, sharing it could cause irreparable harm. This is where wisdom comes in. Ask yourself, is this secret hurting me more by staying hidden than it would if revealed? If the answer is yes, maybe it's time to speak. If the answer is no, the inner work of acceptance can still set you free. Jung warned, do not become what you think you should be. Become who you are. Facing your secrets is the first step toward that. And when you take that step, something extraordinary happens. The secret stops being a prison and becomes a portal to a life that feels lighter, more authentic, and truly free. When the weight falls, what happens when you finally release your secrets? Imagine, for a moment, the feeling of dropping a heavy suitcase you've been carrying for years. At first, your shoulders ache, your body still hunched from the habit of bearing the load. But soon you realize you feel lighter. You breathe deeper. You can walk without so much effort. That's what it feels like to set your secrets free. The psychological effects of release are profound. People who've had the courage to share their truths often describe an unprecedented mental clarity, as if they've wiped clean a foggy mirror. It's not just about telling someone. It's about stopping the inner war you've been waging with yourself. 1. The emotional relief. Studies show secrets act like little lies we tell our brains over and over again. And it takes energy to maintain them, keeping up a facade, hiding memories, recalculating every word to avoid contradiction. All of this drains you. But when you let the secret rise to the surface, that energy is freed, redirected back into living. Think of people who've carried trauma for decades and then, after finally speaking, say, "It feels like a weight has been lifted from my chest." That's not just a metaphor. Your body literally shifts out of a state of constant tension. 2. Strengthening your identity. When you stop hiding parts of yourself, you can finally see the whole picture of who you are. Jung called this process individuation, integrating light and shadow to become a complete being. By embracing your secrets, You stop living to please others and begin aligning with your true self. This is often where people experience changes in their relationships. Friendships and romances become more authentic because there's no longer the constant fear of being found out. The mask falls, and to many people's surprise, the world doesn't end. On the contrary, that's when life truly begins. 3. Transforming relationships. Secrets build invisible walls between us and the people we love. When we tear them down, we create space for real connection. Yes, there are risks. Some people may drift away, but the ones who stay for who you truly are. Here's a hard truth. Sometimes we have to lose in order to find ourselves. Losing people who only loved a filtered version of you isn't really a loss at all. It's freedom. The legacy of facing your shadow. Krishnamurti once said, "It is no measure of health to be well-adjusted to a profoundly sick society." Maybe the secret you're holding is a sign that you don't perfectly fit in, and that's okay. Living authentically is an act of courage few people choose. When you drop the weight, you don't just change your own life. You inspire others to do the same. The world doesn't need more masks. It needs real people. People who have faced their own darkness and turned it into light. Now I want to invite you to reflect. What's the weight you're carrying that you could set down today? Share your thoughts in the comments if this video made you see something you hadn't noticed before. Your story might help someone else realize they're not alone. Subscribe to the channel for more deep and thought-provoking content like this. And don't forget to like and send this video to someone you feel might be carrying an invisible weight. Who looks outside dreams? Who looks inside awakens? Carl Jung.